Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Only Football. The lighting is atrocious. God damn. What are we going to do with that?
Yeah, I know.
Kill this light and put on... How do we get that light on? Producer? Excuse me, producer. Good start. Mr. Producer.
Should we end it and start again?
Nah, don't worry about it. It's all started. Damn. How do we get this light on?
I'll turn it on.
And kill... Oh, let's see if that's any better.
Not really, but...
And kill this.
No, definitely need that
Which
on.
one do you want?
Definitely need that light on.
You want that one?
Okay, that's good. Yeah, we're good. Thank you, sir, Mr. Producer. All right, minute in, sorting out some lighting. Yeah, that's just how professional again. Yeah. Different moods and everything. Yeah, so welcome back, guys. Quarterfinals wrapped up, and Mike, you're going to probably be doing a lot of the recapping here because our cable box completely cut out again, still to this day. Luckily for me, I did book the semifinals and the final off before I even knew I was going back.
Yeah.
You know what? Let's just make sure. Let's go bracket by bracket, preview, review.
Yeah, in order, I guess.
Yeah, sure. Take us away.
We'll start off with Italy, Belgium. I guess the most anticipated of the four quarters.
Mhm.
The two big names. Italy 4 World Cups, Belgium, and then the last leg of their prime generation. Going into it, Hazard was hurt. De Bruyne was a question mark, but he still started.
Yeah, I know. Because going into De Bruyne, seemed what they were saying, and maybe they just kind of downplayed it. But De Bruyne was the one who was more likely to miss the match, actually.
Yeah. And they never really seemed in. You know what? Like they had a few chances when it was 0-0, even when it was 2-1. But Italy always seemed like the better team, and they were going to win. Like even Nucci scored, I think, 19 minutes in, and it was called for offside.
Yep.
But even they had their foot on the pressure. Then after that, nice goal by Barella.
Yes, it was. Very nice.
The funny thing about that goal was Immobile, went down 15
that was
10 seconds before, trying to draw a penalty.
That was shameless.
Once he heard the ball go in the net and the fans roar, he looked up, saw a score, and went to celebrate with the team.
Immediately. Didn't even try to play it off. It's like, yeah, no, you know what I was doing.
Yeah, but he had a horrible game. Everything else, going into it, we both said that if Locatelli starts, they win. Still went with Verratti. I guess the more
it didn't. I think we both like Locatelli, but I don't think it really deterred us from Italy. They're so deep up in the midfield and up front. Like they had that rotation
everywhere. They're pretty deep. They did come out of this game with.
They still have to make the subs in the back.
Right. Yeah. This they lost Spinazzola. They're starting left back, so it looks like Emerson might finish the tournament, but it's not a bad replacement, right?
It's not. I mean, this is Emerson's someone. That's the thing. It's like, maybe we can hold off on him until we actually get to the Spain preview. But I don't know. From what I saw, from what I could see at work very briefly, when I was popping out and seeing what's on the back patio, and then watching the highlights, I saw some great chances from Belgium. But it seems like the run of play was definitely
second half, last 30, 20 minutes, it was Italy just sitting back and daring them to break them down, which they couldn't. And, there were a few odd chances on the rush because, Belgium likes to counterattack. They use their speed and the space, and, usually it's De Bruyne with the ball to begin with, and he'll make the correct first pass to spring everyone. And it did happen in a few instances, but all...
Couple sitters by Lukaku missed.
Big game Lukaku,
Big
right?
game. He had a great season. I'll give him that. But he was a ghost against Portugal, and in this case, a couple really good chances to actually tie that match up after being down 2-0, which he blew. That one thing I will say is that save that Donnarumma made on De Bruyne in the first half was amazing. Like I was floored by that stuff. It was such a strong hand, and the pounce by Donnarumma was great. Was very impressed with him, and it looks like he'll be going to PSG as well.
Yeah, and Italy's already a hard team to break down. So when you give them a 2-0 lead, 2-0 lead, they're rarely going to squander it, right? And I think In every appearance that Donnarumma's made, he's never conceded more than one. So if
you're going off of that, it looked pretty good. But I mean, Belgium tagging them back right at the end of the first half. You go into the second half with a little bit of positivity.
Yeah, a lot of positivity, right? 2-0. 2-1 is way better than 2-0. And they say 2-0 is the worst lead to have in soccer because you relax up and you get all tense. But great job by Italy. They were the stronger team. We both believe going into it. And they look like they should go to the finals.
Yeah, well, let's talk about their opponent. Spain took on Switzerland. And Mike, again,
it was fairly reminiscent of Spain's first two games. A lot of possession, nothing happened.
We both kind of had that too. Like I think I had a 1-0 for Spain, and frankly, minus that horrible Torres and Laporte mix-up leading to Shaqiri's goal. Shaqiri scored or he assisted?
He scored.
He scored, right? Yeah,
super assisted.
Right.
But it was a very bad turnover. Both goals in this game were bad. An own goal. Like this one, it's like it went down as an own goal. I think
it did.
Yeah.
That took it to. So just for a fun fact, Michel Platini had the Euro one tournament record with 9 goals in a tournament, and own goals with that goal just set the new record with 10.
10, yeah. There's been a lot of own goals. This one, it's kind of harsh. It was in Jordi Alba, half volley that was going on target.
It was originally marked as a Jordi Alba goal.
Yeah. It was going on target, right? Yeah. And it was going to be a comfortable save, but the defender tried to clear it and just ended up putting it into the net.
Yeah.
But even in, when it went, once there was talking in the referee's ears, and you knew he was going to go watch the tackle, and you knew it was going to be a red card. From all the red cards I've seen this season in Premier League, it's not soft because if you look at it, what the aftermath was, definitely a red. But it was one of those where the ball was there and he just went with his studs, got all the ball. Oh, and you can see it now, right? He went with his studs. He got 100% of the ball. He was there on time. The Spanish player was there late and just happened to get a studs to the midsection, right? And it looks like after he went like that with 2 legs, it was always going to be a red. Yeah. Unfortunate. As I said, if this was 15, 20 years ago, that's not even a foul. It's play on. He got the ball. No questions asked. But with VAR now, everything is being scrutinized. It was always going to be red.
Got a lot of texts during when that happened about it being soft red. Soft red, yeah.
I can see why people say soft red, but it was still a red by letter of the law, and with VAR now, it was always going to be turned back.
Mm-hmm. I did manage. It was going to penalties. I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm just going to actually stream this on my phone just for fun sake, and I love a high miss penalty when I'm a neutral.
Yes,
when in neutral.
It was once that red happened with 10 minutes left, you knew Switzerland was just going to play to hold on.
Yeah, and it's like, can Spain break them down?
Yeah, they had 40 minutes to, right?
Yes, they did. But it's like, Mike, you just said it too. It was reminiscent of their first 2 matches, and we were not surprised that against Switzerland they reverted back to that. Yes, they scored 10 goals in 2 games against Slovakia and Croatia, but it just did kind of seem like, as Enrique said, like a champagne bottle waiting to pop, and like that fizz, that foam, it's just all spluttered in, and
the fun part of the champagne is gone. The fun part.
Well, now you drink it, but let's get some whiskey or something.
As you were saying, for quality of the semifinals, this was the matchup you wanted. 2 big teams. Like, it's a repeat of the Euro 2012 finals, right? Don't see it going 4-0 Spain this time.
No,
but if a team were to win 4-0, I'd pick Italy.
Pick Italy, yeah, and I would agree with you. I don't think it is going to go like that. I do think Italy will win. But I mean, like, you're saying, like, if you had your pick of the litter to make the semis, it would be these 2. Yes, after what happened in round 16, still for myself missing France. So
yes,
I just want that.
Italy France would have been amazing.
Would have been so good.
That's a draw we have to wait for in 2 years or 4 years, hopefully, at the next big tournament. But congrats to Switzerland.
Respecting that very nice, respectable run.
And you would think after going 5 for 5 against France, they would go better than 1 for 4, right? And especially with Busquets missing the very first penalty, and you score, you're like, okay, just they looked. Did you see the penalties?
Yep.
They didn't look confident against every player that went up for Switzerland against France. Looked confident. Why? And this penalty shootout did not look confident.
Maybe because actually they started to believe they had something to lose.
And
that's all I can think of. It's like, against France, like they were such a heavy underdog. I don't really get out there. You're still the underdog going to Spain as well. But that's all I can really.
It was just a poor showing after holding off for 40 minutes.
How many did Sommer save? 2?
Pardon? No, he saved 1. He saved 1.
Did Spain miss 2?
They missed 2, but just got hit the post.
Yeah,
hit the post. Yeah. So he only saved 1. Yeah. But he had 10 saves during the match. Euro record.
Yes, and that's not including the penalties. The penalty he saved. But I think when Busquets had missed, Spain had missed something like 5 or 6 penalties in a row.
Right? Before the Busquets miss, it was 5 in a row.
Okay, and then that made it 6.
Yeah, because they reverted back to when Ramos missed 2 in the game.
Right.
In the qualifiers.
Yes, okay.
And they missed, I think, another one in the qualifiers and then 2 this tournament. But way to rebound back after missing your first one and third one and still managing to get out a win. Anytime you miss 2 penalties and you can still win out of 5 shooters, very unfortunate, right? Or you got to thank the goalie. Unai Simon, hey, he's more than made up that own goal now.
He already did against Croatia.
Yeah,
I was actually really annoyed. I was actually really annoyed. I think I might have mentioned last time actually. So, but maybe I just mentioned to you was like after the Croatian match. I was reading these bylines because one byline saying like Spain take blunderous goalkeeper to the Olympics. Like, the guy made up for it in the Croatian match.
Yeah,
like he did. So yeah, let's give this guy a little bit of credit. And
quick question:
would you sub in De Gea?
No. From what you've seen of Spain so far, and what you could be able to see, why is Pedri playing
so far? Like in the mid?
No, it's just he whatever formation that Enrique's using him in, he's invisible. He doesn't do anything.
You know what's really weird, Mike? Because again, like I haven't seen as much as I'd like to. But
he's not even getting subbed off. He's like they're subbing off other experienced players when he's not even like being a part of the game.
And when you have a young talent like that, you could also just use him as a super sub.
Yes,
it's probably much more.
I understand. I can see why he starts, but
if he's not doing anything,
but in these last 4 games I saw him, he hasn't been doing anything. So he's not contributing to it. He's not doing anything. All his passes, he's getting in a good space and just passing it backwards or sideways. Maybe that's all he's asked to do. So that's unfair judgment on me, and I apologize, but. I don't think he's.
It's funny you should say that because, as I said, like I haven't seen as much as I would like to. Semis and finals, I'm all in. But Pedri hasn't like jumped out at me from like what I've been seeing in highlights or from what the snippets I've been seeing. Regardless, it's funny is that online, there's like picking like your young players of the tournament, or even just like standout players of the tournament. And he's one of them, and. I'm like, okay, maybe nothing struck me, but I haven't seen as much. But you're telling me right now that that's just complete nonsense. It just sounds like he has the name. He has the name.
He's just there, right? He's not doing anything. He's just there. Yeah. So it's like, I guess, yeah. But for me, I would at least take him out against Italy because he hasn't like against Italy. You're going to need to break them down. Yeah. And he hasn't shown me anything that he can help Spain break them down.
Who are you bringing in this place to break down Italy? Because who's going to be in that midfield? It's going to be Busquets.
It's like I think they should change up for formation. Thiago, yes, but he's going to be playing in a similar role as Busquets, right? So it's like
you're 4-2-3-1.
If Busquets is there already, you're going to have to change formation, and then if you do, I wouldn't mind. I know he started as right back but Marcos Alonso, not Marcos Alonso, Llorente. He had a great season with Atletico, and he's still not being used properly in Spain. And I think he's more gotten. Like,
are they still throwing that right back?
No, they Cesar now.
Okay,
right?
Yeah, but
he's not playing in the midfield where his natural position.
But you know what? I think the way his season ended with Atletico has kind of been problematic for him getting into that Spanish midfield. I think he should have been a lock anyway, but he was playing a lot of right back. While I like all these problems. I don't know if Enrique's reading way too much into that. I think Llorente would be a great.
But he's only been used as a right back this tournament. Yeah, it's just like, why bring him if you're not going to use him in his true position? Yes, so I would like to see him come in. I guess he wouldn't start, but I like to see him as one of the first 2 subs instead of like the 4th one in extra time. And even then, he's coming in as more. But against Switzerland, came in as a defender, right? Because they had not an attacker, sorry, because they were up a man, right? So they didn't need to bring him for defense-wise. But I think against Croatia, he came in for a defensive shutdown, like in the second half of extra time when they're up 5-3, making sure they don't blow this lead again.
Yeah.
But they got to change something against Italy, or else, like, maybe I could be wrong, but I think Italy's going to roll them. Not roll them, but a comfortable 2-0, 2-1.
A comfortable 2-1.
2-0, like meaning they go up 2-0
again,
and then just hold on.
You could be sweating out at 2-1.
You could be.
It's the most dangerous league in sports, right?
But like a 1-0 victory, when it's Italy winning 1-0 consistently, I feel as though it's comfortable. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do see what you mean. I mean, the Emerson thing is actually interesting to me because that was, when we were even previewing Italy, that was really the one spot that we were like, this is where they're light.
They're light, but Spinazzola was still amazing.
Spinazzola was incredible, but
he offers a lot of offense.
Emerson,
no.
Emerson. Well, Emerson is going to have to as well.
He is,
and
he's generally going to be focused on the defensive tasks. And he won't have the freedom that Spinazzola
has. He's going to have Ferran Torres running at him too, who has had a pretty good tournament. I'm not going to say he's set the world on fire, but he's been solid. And you wonder about Emerson. I mean, this is someone who really hasn't played in the last year.
Yeah,
if not more.
2 years. Yeah, I would say 2 years.
Yeah, I think that's fair. And it's really unfortunate for Italy that you lose arguably your best player of the tournament, and that's saying a lot actually, because there's a lot of standard performers in that Italy squad that you would argue to make like the best 11 of the tournament. But Spinazzola arguably their best, and out until at least like mid-September, if not more.
Yeah, he's got 20 Achilles.
Yeah.
And he won't be back soon.
Yeah, but and then you bring someone that's gotta be a focus. What I think helps is that you have the experience and the dynamism of Marco Verratti on that side of the midfield as well to help out there. So I think that's maybe gonna stunt potentially. Emerson could come in and light the world on fire. Surprised you have a beer on you. I don't know what the hell you're doing. But it might stunt the left side of the of the field for Italy somewhat. I think the likes of Chiesa, who will be starting again. I should imagine after starting against Italy, we'll have to get it done the right. Yeah. I'm just wondering if it just kind of hinders Italy overall, because it's like, if there's not a really good if there's not very good communication on the left hand side of the field between Emerson and Insigne, then Spain can start focusing more on the right side of the field as well.
And that gap that would create in between them.
So
trying to explain 2-1. Yep.
I'm still with you. I think it's going to be more or less comfortable too, and I guess I'm going to somewhat contradict myself. But a comfortable 1-0 win, not where it's like you're up 2 and then concede 1. It's like you hold down and 1-0 for Italy in this one.
Yeah, I would say 2-1 just to give Spain some credit for scoring, but I really want to say 2-0.
Yeah, I mean, like, some credit. See that, but Mike, Spain wound up having a respectable tournament. Despite all the question marks and low expectations, semifinals.
And
they're not out yet. I'm talking like they're out, but I'm like really giving them no credit actually.
Yeah.
It's this for me. Italy would have a better chance of beating England by far than Spain. I think if it's Spain-England, I think the way Spain's set up more or less plays into England's hands in terms of like the pace at which they play.
Yeah.
And just how defensive England are. So for me, fingers crossed, Italy win.
Yeah.
Anyone but England. That's what I'm saying.
Onto
that side.
Should we start with the Cinderella story?
Yeah, Denmark Czech. That was first. Let's do it. Personally, myself, obviously, always trying to back myself as well. Was hoping that Czech would kind of be the team that kind of ruined two Disney storylines with Denmark, and a very negative kind of Disney storyline, if you want to put it that way. At least how it kicked off with Ericsson, and then I just thought they'd be able to frustrate England more, just a little more physical and stodgy.
And they would have had a game against England already.
Yes,
they could adapt to where they thought, because even though they lost, they had some chances, and England wasn't.
They had plenty of chances in that first half.
Oh yeah.
England just Southgate really shut it down after the first half. I couldn't believe that Czech hadn't scored yet. I'm like, how are these guys not bagged two against England? But Denmark really did put in a good performance. I'm not going to say that a lot of people said that the Czech. I actually did see a decent amount of this match. I'm not going to say that the Czech, disappointed and show up. I heard that from a number of people. And yes, Denmark got off to a flying start, but I think the Czech really answered well, and they even kind of hung around when it was 1-0 as well. Going down 2-0, answered beautifully, especially in the second half, right out of the gates, scoring, but also creating a chance right before that. Couple chances after, and then Denmark never scored the third goal, but they were getting those chances on the break where the Czech were
leaving themselves exposed.
Completely.
I think they pushed too far up too soon.
I agree.
Right?
I
started doing it from the 70th minute, and I'm like,
you don't
wait till 80th, 82nd, but...
And you had two good Danish chances in the last 20 minutes of that match. And you're right, 20 minutes far too soon.
Too soon to be pushing up everyone.
Yeah.
But overall, still a great tournament for the Czech. They tied for a golden boot.
Well, yeah, I guess when he's got the Ronaldo has the
assist, but
top scorer.
Yeah, top scorer, 5 goals and 6 games. It's more that more contribution from different players was needed. I think.
Yeah, that's fair.
Too relying on Schick.
Yeah,
which
to me honestly kind of surprised me a little bit. It's great that it's such a standout tournament, but I did expect more of a balance in terms of. There was balance within their team play, but in terms of production on the offensive end, I did expect, even Souček getting in there, for example, had an incredible season, basically in the pivot at West Ham. Box to box,
but
and
getting in there for headers and creating chances with not his pace, but his stamina, which is still good. But kudos to Denmark. Who would have thought? After 2 games.
They showed the signs of life against Belgium, though. And I think that match was a definite turning point. And they looked pretty good against Finland as well in the first half. I mean, realistically, they could be an undefeated team in this tournament. I mean, think about. You wonder how much this Eriksen moment has impacted this team, because Eriksen is their most creative player and arguably their best player. I think most would say he is. I think there's an argument to look elsewhere depending on where you are. On the field, Kier, even Højbjerg, Schmeichel, just depends, But Eriksen definitely up there, and definitely the most creative. And I mean, the way that they've been moving the ball and creating chance after chance since that Belgian match, really, and scoring plenty of goals as well, 10 goals in the last 3 matches. And you wonder just how they adapted so well, and what would have changed if Eriksen was still there? Would they be too focused on Eriksen to get him the ball and create? When now, as we're talking about with the Czech people, not actually helping out as much offensively, you have a front 6 essentially rotating cast, getting goals all over the place.
Yeah,
all over the place.
Balanced scoring, and that's who knows what would have happened if Eriksen's there, but I think the team has rallied way better than anyone can imagine.
Yeah. But do you think they would have been kind of bottleneck?
I don't think they'd be as far with Eriksen.
I agree. I agree. So do you think they would have been kind of bottlenecked if they had Eriksen?
Yeah.
They are just forcing the ball into him too much, and then the opposition suffocates him.
I think so. I think they would have been too reliant on him. That's what it is. It's not that everything would have went through him, but they would have looked at him for a lot of answers. Right. Yep. So it's one of those things. But great game by them. Great few games in a row since the incident. And you know what? It's not even their best Euro tournament, right? They've won it before, so maybe they could do it again. Do I think so? I think the run does end here.
So do I.
Unfortunately, but I think everyone will be cheering for Denmark, and I'm hoping for a good game, but if Denmark's winning 2-0, I'm not hoping for England to come back.
No,
right? I'm just hoping Denmark could do it. At that point, I'm like, they could do it.
Yeah,
they could do it.
Even some self-loathing Englishmen will probably be cheering for Denmark. They love to. It's the English way.
At least we lost to Denmark.
Yeah, it's the most thing. Oh God, I'm so proud. But anyone but England. it's something that I mind the English national team that much. It's just Southgate kills me. But you know what? I gotta give them some. I gotta give them some respect. They've had somewhat of an easy run.
Yeah, but back-to-back semis.
Yes, absolutely. They haven't conceded yet. Very, very impressive. You know, I can say whatever I'd like about the negative tactics involved. We did say that they'd turn the style against Ukraine. Sure enough, they did. Ukraine they didn't have it.
Ukraine went to the Ukraine that I saw against Austria.
Yes, and we both called that.
And even the second half against Netherlands, they played well, and then since then they haven't. It's like they've been a shell of themselves, and nothing like they were in qualifying. No. I ripped them going into the round of 16, even though they made it. They had an impressive win against Sweden.
Save yourself $10 too.
It's impressive win against Sweden, and then just from the get-go, every player on the pitch was, going into the game, you'd say England has a better player on every position, but Ukraine played like it, and they played like they were. They knew they were gonna lose. Yeah. They didn't have any fight. Great pass by Kane on the first one, and you could see it broke their spirits, and they did not look like they wanted to even fight back and make it a close game. They just kind of accepted their fate, from what I saw.
Yeah, I think they generated one chance, somewhat early in the first half. Afterwards, Pickford also having a very solid turn when he's been called upon. Where there's not really much to dwell on the Ukraine match. Some very impressive performances. Obviously, went 4-0. Harry Kane getting up there with 3 goals now.
Yeah, potentially
himself pushing for the Golden Boot all of a sudden.
It could bag some against Denmark. But,
yeah.
Luke Shaw, probably
the best
top 2
on form.
England players in the tournament.
Oh no, best. You're gonna say Sterling. Best. Sterling.
Oh, I'm saying top 2.
No, he's best.
I don't
know. No bias.
No bias. I have to be I have to feel what the crowd wants, right? Not the crowd wants, but if you were to ask, I would say 50 Englishmen, a lot of them would say Sterling.
I'm only football's Mourinho, right? That's what you done me last week. Well, this Mourinho loves Luke Shaw, and you know what? Sterling's had a very good tournament. But I still see
universe.
I still see the things that frustrate me in Sterling in this good run, and I also see.
But I think when you have to embrace Sterling you have to embrace the mistakes that are going to come. I think that's the way you got to approach it, right? You're looking at it.
Fair. I managed to do.
You're comparing him to perfect people. He's going to have these stinkers, and you just have to accept it.
Yeah, but I don't really necessarily.
It sucks that he does.
But I love Rashford as a United fan, but Rashford does the exact same shit.
Yeah.
And I don't really embrace it. I end up forgiving him because.
Isn't that kind of embracing it? Forgiving him.
Yes. I suppose, yes.
You are embracing him just differently, right? Because he is wearing colors that you support. But I do have something to say. I think it's going to be very controversial.
All right.
It's coming home.
It's coming home.
It's coming home.
I don't think it's very controversial.
I think it's coming home.
I don't think that's controversial at all.
It's coming. And
it's controversial about that. You're saying this in the semis and while they're playing Denmark.
It's coming home.
They're going to be heavy favorites against Denmark. Controversial? They're going to be at home for the semis and the final.
And I think they're not going to choke it.
It's no lock.
They're not going to choke it. It's not a lock, but it's coming home.
Okay.
I'm preparing for it to come home.
The odds are pretty much everyone's apart from Denmark, everyone's paying 3-1 to win the tournament. Italy's slight favorite, then it's England, and then right behind is Spain. They're all basically paying 3-1. It's actually really something.
It's coming home.
Denmark's at 11.5 if you want to chase. Just saying.
I think you're better off doing one of each of the 3. You then just get your money back, but
yeah, that's true.
But I'm preparing for it.
It's a good story. I'm also prepared. No,
it's a good story for England to do it. They only do it at home. It's then we know they won't win again until they host, right? Because that's the only time they can win.
It's not the last time they.
66.
But they've hosted. They hosted Europe since.
96. Yeah. But we know they won't win unless they host, right? So I think it'll be good.
You love that. You love that kind of these
It's coming.
His hypotheticals.
It's
Love them.
coming home.
Please, Mike. No. I guess you know what. Well, shit, man. I'm praying that when we do our episode on Thursday, that's not even the question, and then I can shoot for Denmark. Actually. I don't see it though myself. I think it's coming to an end. I'm gonna go 3-1 England. I think Denmark's have had a great tournament, but you know, Denmark, they've been actually like getting at teams, but at the same time
creating chances, not waiting for luck.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But the things that when I see that and the way that England's set up, England will be hitting on the break. And they love to do it, and I think that's going to play in their hands, especially with the clearly more talented squad than what it's the Danes.
Do you think Southgate is taking a similar approach to what Ole does with Man U?
I said that before the tournament. I think I've said that like throughout the year. They are very
Ole-like, or Ole is very Southgate-like. What is the question?
Well, no, it has to be Ole. I mean, Ole was managing Cardiff way back in the day. Ollie got here first. I don't know what he's doing at Cardiff, to be honest. I know he's rotating the shit out of his squad, though. That's the one thing I heard about that. But and never picking the same team. Regardless, it is very similar, and like that's what kills me about Ollie is I'm pulling for him, and I recognize that he's inexperienced, but he just
it won't succeed in a club level season,
long term.
It's only good for tournament style.
The one thing I will say is that as you've noticed with United under Ollie especially is that they made 4 semis and 1 final, and they went 0-4 the semi until they won the last one and they lost their first final. There's a mentality problem there in terms of winning big matches.
Just one match.
Just one match. And I think there's something different with this England team where I think the mentality is there because it's strewn out with other players as well.
Well, he has the quality.
He has the quality, but there's a lot of United players in that team. So the one silver line for me is if England win is that hopefully likes of Maguire, Shaw, Rashford, Sancho
learn something.
Come back and take that with
them. So you should be cheering for England.
No, absolutely not. They can do that on their own time. With hopefully Camavinga maybe coming in. And these rumors are picking up steam, but we didn't do anything today. And
is he like what you guys are giving up on Varane?
No, that's still going strong too.
Oh, so you want Camavinga and Varane?
Possibly,
and then put Maguire in the center defensive mid.
Excuse me. What do you?
You wanted a CDM. That's if you got both Camavinga and Varane, would you be disappointed?
Camavinga's box-to-box CDM.
Oh, only 18. I thought he was center back. Oh, I'm thinking of. Okay. So there you go. You got your CDM then.
We don't yet. Man, but Camavinga, I will be over the moon. And with friends. It would be a big summer. Still don't trust the Blazers. But yeah,
did you have a brother?
Edward Camavinga? No, Mbappe does. I don't know if Camavinga does. I know Mbappe does. He just re-signed at PSG. Anyway, Mike. So I got 3-1. I think Denmark do actually break them down.
2-0.
2-0. Sound easy. I think it's big for them too. Actually, I don't mind that. I don't mind that at all. I think that's actually really important to them, and it is quite the feat. You can say their group was not unreasonably soft at all. I don't think so. It was actually quite.
They had a third place team come out of the group.
It was
quite. And the third place team was Czech. It was 4 points. So they had a good group.
They did have a good group.
And they shut it all out.
I would say Ukraine was really their only softball in this whole tournament. So they struggled in Scotland. People were turning on Southgate, obviously, and I wasn't turning. I was already there. But but the thing with Scotland, there's a history. Just the national history between them that, and Scotland being back, that it was never like a gimme. It's like, yes, on paper, you should absolutely do it, and it looks bad. It reflects poorly on them, but I think they've had a somewhat tough run. But in the grand scheme of things, it's been an easy run. To the final, for sure.
And everyone wished that, besides Germany, right? They wish if we can beat Germany, we got this. As quarters of semis, you'd sign up. Everyone would sign up.
Yeah.
Italy would sign up.
Yep, absolutely.
Italy has the hardest path.
Excuse me.
Right? Austria. Yeah, I would say right now Italy had the hardest out of the 4 teams left.
Austria, Belgium, and then Spain. Croatia, Switzerland.
You think Spain had the hardest route?
I'm still going to go with Spain. I'm going to go Spain.
Okay.
It's also based on like the level of like I guess our expectations from each team as well, in terms of like who they line up against. I think Australia kind of, even though they put in a great performance, that made it difficult. But on paper, strictly on paper, I'll give it to Spain. But it's easy because frankly they should have got motherfucking France. That's why. Okay, so 2-0, 3-1. I kind of like a 2-0 more, to be honest. And yeah, we'll be coming. Hopefully, it's not coming home, but we'll be coming back on Thursday night. Semi-final recap and the finals. And then after the Euros, we'll do like a little, maybe we'll do a little live stream like right after the match or something like that. Figure it out.
Yeah.
And then
get our media reactions.
Yeah, and then we'll get back to some paper talk for a bit, maybe some features, and yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, Premier League's right around the corner.
It really is, actually. Oh, see, not yet, but really is.
Yeah.
See you guys.
See you.
There we go.